let's jump into my first question for the day. It comes from Judah. What's up, Judah? I miss you, buddy. Judah's 8 years old. He's Zach's son. They moved to McMinnville, Calvary Chapel, McMinnville. Pastor Steve, this is what he says. When Jesus went to the temple for the feast, did he also bring sacrifices to sacrifice for himself, to himself, ? And since he was sinless, wouldn't that have just been religious acts?
Yes, he would. So Judah, the Bible says that Jesus took part in the Passover, and so that's not even a question. Jesus took part in the Passover, and the Passover was a sacrifice. So they took that lamb to the temple, and they offered it up as a sacrifice, and Jesus took part in that. Also, Jesus, when he was born, his parents took him to the temple, and there were sacrifices made for him, and that's something that you did with a newborn baby in Judaism. And so every time Jesus would have gone to the temple, specifically for Passover, he would have been taking part in sacrifices. And no, Jesus didn't need to sacrifice for his sin, and you already got that down. But he did come to be a human Jewish man. And so he came to keep the law, and he came to keep the law perfectly. And it was commanded in the Old Testament law that the Jews come together every year and they offer up the Passover. And so, Jesus would have taken part in that. It's the same thing that you have when Jesus gets baptized. That's
what I was thinking of.
Yeah, he didn't need to get baptized. But he does it, and what he says to John the Baptist is that he's doing it to fulfill all righteousness. And so basically when you look at the things that Jesus does as far as keeping Judaism in the Gospels, he's doing to fulfill the righteousness that needed to take place for him to actually pay for the sins of the people of Israel and for everybody who's going to all the Gentiles who are going to end up coming to follow him. And this again is what I mean by that. What he's doing is he's acting like a righteous Jewish man. And so he's doing all the things that a righteous Jewish man would do, including in the situation with being baptized by John the Baptist. That was a picture of recognizing the fact that, it was just identifying with the people of God, basically. And so Jesus does all that kind of stuff. So Jesus did not need to go to the synagogue on Saturdays, and yet that was his custom, that he went to the synagogue. He didn't need to be taught by anybody, but he went and listened to teaching, and so on and so forth. So his whole life was that. Yeah.
Can you imagine the afterthought of you, like let's say you were one of the rabbis, and you were teaching God.
Oh, yeah.
You were giving a Bible study to the Lord.
Yeah. I would be sitting there going, no, that was the Lord, no. You probably thought I was so stupid.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.